Hey everybody, today we're going to be checking out this old Forge Bushcraft knife we got from Gear Pack. Coming up. Okay, so I've got another stake here because we're still working on these tent stakes because I think this would be nice to have a set that I can just, keep with me, put in my pack. That way everything's ready to go. I can put my tarp up, I can, create a shelter real fast. And I've already got some notches on here to where I've got some grooves here and I've got a groove here. We'll put the notch on this side and we're gonna fashion the tip on this end. So but, Gear Pack sent us this old Forge Bushcraft knife with sharpening stone. It's got, looks like fine to super fine, so we'll see how that goes too. But we're going to see what we can do with this. Now, I'm not sure if this is carbon steel or stainless steel. I think this is some sort of mystery Chinese stainless. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to start on the notch end. And we're going to see if we can't put a notch in this using the old Forge blade that we got. Which, incidentally, I know someone else had mentioned on my unboxing that when they got theirs, the handle was loose. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's loose. So, not the best construction. It's not full tank, as you can see. It only goes about halfway down. You know what? I should know what that's called. I read it somewhere, but I forget what it's called. But it's not full tank. It's just a partial tank. But we're gonna see how well this blade hold will start with making a notch. Now, I did cut a notch in it to begin with so that I had a starting point, so I knew exactly where to put my cuts because these ones are a little bit, I'm making two sets, right? I've got this longer set for the fore and the aft so that I can pull my guy line, my ridge line, and then I'm making the shorter set for the outer edges so we can fasten the tarp down. So I want these all to be basically the same length. So we're gonna see what I can do about fashioning a notch using old Forge. Okay. So far, I'm kind of impressed. I didn't think it was gonna be this good. I say this I'm building towards a larger project I'm doing with the tarp and the stakes. Gonna get all set up and get it set up and see what it looks like. But so far, I'm mildly impressed. Not overly impressed, but I am mildly impressed with how well this blade is doing. Now, honestly, I didn't think it would do this good. But as I said in this month's unboxing from Gear Pack, if they would have put this knife, as possibly bad as it looks and seems, if they would have put this knife in this box that we got this month, that box I think would have been like a Gear Pack phenomenal box. Considering that most of the boxes they put out, half the stuff is just questionable as to why it's in the box or just not good. I mean, we got a Kershaw fiberglass shank this month. If we would have gotten this in there, I think it would have been a whole different box. Those of you who have Gear Pack, I think you'd agree with me. but we're gonna see. Just gonna kind of put a pretty good sized notch in this. I'm of course saving my shavings for a fire starter. So as you can see, it goes in like that. The rope goes around the edge there. Oh, I'm honestly surprised. I didn't think this knife was going to do that good. I didn't. With the loose blade and not knowing, you know, anything about it, I sold it short. I'm actually impressed. It is actually... It's actually doing camp chores, which is something that's important with a knife. So, and again, it just says Old Forge 005, OF 005, and then China. So, to be honest, we don't know if this is carbon, if this is stainless, although I suspect this is some mystery stainless Chinese steel. Obviously, it was handmade in China, because all their stuff says handmade in China, so... Alright, now we're going to try the other end. We're going to see if we can't... of course, I have scored a line around the end so that I know where to begin the base of the pointy end. Tip, I guess you'd call it. And now we'll see how well we can just... So as you can see, when it comes to other camp chores, again, we're kind of doing a lot of things at once, but you can make some curls. These are kind of large curls, a little bit thick, but it will still help you start a fire. So you get these small curls going. I imagine if I use a little bit less force, if I just glide it along there very easily. You get some better curls going there. So, you know, I'm surprised. I am surprised. Old Forge is definitely impressing me. Because ideally, you know, if you are in a survival situation, you want to have a reliable knife. And another thing, if this is some mystery Chinese stainless steel, that means that it's probably going to be able to take an edge pretty easily. It might not necessarily hold an edge, but you should be able to put an edge on it when needed. So I'm trying to get towards a little bit towards the tip. See how well that does. All right, not too bad, not too shabby. As you can see, we're getting there. We're getting towards that tip area there. You know what? Let me do. Shavings everywhere, but it'll be all right. Hold on just a second here. Let me grab something real fast. Okay, I'm back. I just figured, you know what? Since we're at it, we'll give it a little shot here. Okay, I'm impressed. It may be stainless, but it'll do the job. So that's another plus to this. So it makes curls. You can get your notches where slowly but surely, and any knife's going to slowly, get the tip, because you don't want to go too fast anyway. But so far this knife is doing anything. So far this knife is doing what you would need it to in a survival situation. Now, I don't have any wood large enough to try any batoning, so I can't test the baton, but I can imagine that this would baton. I imagine that if you, yeah, I mean, it's not full tang, but I think there's enough of a tang there that, if you stuck it in, you could, at least, I don't know, about a striker from the ferro rod. At least about like a 2-inch. You could probably baton a 2-inch log and get into smaller pieces, which I can imagine would be extremely useful in a fire building situation. And you can make wood shavings. So you can get your curls going. So you have some small tinder to ignite, and you can throw a spark with it if you have a ferro rod. So I think that's somewhere where this company they could have, Old Forge could have actually improved it. They got a sharpening stone, and if they would have just had like a, put a spot in here for even just a small ferro rod, nothing even as big as this, this one here that comes in everything. But if they would have had just, a small ferro rod in here, then I think that this would have been about an ultimate, budget. Mind you, this is not great equipment, but this would be like a pretty good budget survival knife. And this right here, and not like, like the Rambo survival knives that you get with, that has all the crap in the handle and everything, but an actual one that you could take into any type of situation, and you can do camp chores, build fires, you could, fashion, weapons. You could use it as a weapon. I do imagine that this would be good enough for like filleting fish. It's not a terribly crazy blade. It's a pretty simple knife. There's no serious, there's no serrations, which is a plus for me because I hate serrations. Yeah, I mean, some knives with serrations are not bad, but about half of my knives have serrations. One of my favorite ones is half serrated. It's got like, the bottom part here is, the bottom inch is serrated, and that's my Royce Applegate that I got when I re-enlisted. So, but I mean, this knife here, I think that, given the MSRP of it, I think that it's not a complete disappointment. It definitely is doing the trick. You can kind of see it. We're getting there. So I think that. Oh, and hey, if this is your first time on the channel, please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. If you are subscribed, I'd appreciate hitting that thumbs up. You don't have to, of course, but it does help the algorithm, so it pushes me out to more people. So then more people see my videos, and then we might get the better comments. A broader range of opinions and viewpoints. I've gotten some crazy comments in the past. I lived in an RV for a while, and the floor was half done at the time that I made a video, and I was actually working on it. And one of the comments was, that it was, yeah, your money would have been better spent in fixing the floor. Well, I was fixing the floor, but I was doing it myself, so I was kind of halfway through it when I made the video. So I didn't really put too much into that. No point in trying to. But still, it was a comment, and and I get some of the comments. People say, "Oh, yeah, I wouldn't pay for that." Well, yeah, you wouldn't pay for it. And why wouldn't you pay for it? Because you see it on my channel. So, you know, and like I said, I don't know if you buy this old Forge knife. I can't say that if I was out looking for a knife, I can't say that this is one that I would like rush out to buy. But, you know, if money was limited and it was all I could afford, then I mean, I think that this one is better than some of the ones we've gotten. So I guess it all comes down to the good with the bad. It's definitely not my favorite knife I've ever gotten. But I think the favorite knife, my favorite knife that I've gotten in any of these boxes is not really a good knife anyway, but it's the 2A backup boy survival knife. So read into that as you will. Not a great knife. It was from one of my mystery bags or mystery crates or something. And yeah, it's not a great bowie knife, but I like the concept behind it. You know, the second minute backup bowie. So it's like, yeah, you're out of bullets and you got a big knife. So I like the sentiment behind it. It's got a little AR on it, which is nice. Or I have an AM15. So yeah, Anderson Manufacturing. Pretty happy with it. For those of you that live in states where your rights, your Second Amendment rights are limited, I'm sorry about that. I do apologize. Hopefully our country starts to right itself. You know, and we stop trying to take our freedoms and give them to other people, and you know, start just being good people to each other again. So, and you know, I've got friends that are both sides of the aisle. You know, I try to stay, at least on the channel, I try to stay out of it. You know, I'm sure that those of you that watch my videos can figure out pretty much where I stand. But I don't really believe in parties so much as principles and policies. If policy works, hey, keep it. If policy doesn't work, then replace it. You know, try something new. Some of my views would probably surprise some people, but I'm not here to talk about my views. I'm here to talk about this old Forge knife. So we're going to go ahead and see how. But as you can see, it's forming up there nicely. I got wood chips everywhere. I'll be sitting on the couch tomorrow. Nah, I just clean up afterwards. It'll be alright. So, but yeah, so far. Now again, not knowing what kind of steel this is, not knowing anything about the company. And again, I haven't tried I haven't tried like personally, you know, because I mean I probably should, but I've been really busy lately. But I know I read somewhere that someone had gone to I think it was on, I don't know if it was on my video or if it was on Paul's gear review, but I know someone said that when they went to the website it was still in construction, so. That doesn't mean anything. There's some websites that have been in construction and they just never get finished, so it doesn't mean anything. But so since there's so little information out there about this knife, you know, I guess the only real way that we can tell is just like this, you know, somebody putting it to the test. And again, I don't know if I'd actually run out and buy this knife, but definitely think that there we go. It's getting there. Almost done. Then we'll wrap this video up. I'll give you my impression. but I think that if you can afford a better knife, then of course get a better knife. You know, if you can't afford a better knife, then I guess this one would function perfectly well. If you can't afford better gear, then and you don't know what gear you need, I think that I don't know if Gear Pack would be the way to go. I'm sticking with them because I want to stick with them, you know, at least a year. But as I said in my last Gear Pack video, who knows what 2025 Gear Pack might not be part of the channel anymore. But we're gonna at least stick it out for another 7 boxes. See if they surprise me or if they fizzle like they did last year. Because last year I got one really good box. You know what? This is probably this box here, not this box, but the box I got this month. Probably my second favorite box from Gear Pack. I think that the Bushcraft 2.0, Bushcraft 2.0 that I got last year, that was actually a really good knife, a really good box. It came with a couple Kuksas or Kuksu, and it came with some Bushcraft equipment. It came with like a gear strap, similar to the one that we just got from, you know, this month from SHTF, but it came with some crazy knife, which the knife was, although still better than the one we got this month with that fiberglass shank. It was not overly impressive, but it was carbon steel, but it's a big knife, no sheath, kind of a poorly packaged item, but and we got like a pouch for like that I used for my used it for my spice kit. If you watch my spice kit video, it was that one. So there you go. Look at that. So 22 minutes, and we actually managed to fashion a 100% functional tent stake. We also tested if it throws sparks, which it did. So, what can we tell about this blade? We'll see here. The Braxis, Wasp, Death. Okay. Some random list I don't need. So, oh well. So even after fashioning this stake, it still retains its edge. Again, I'm not sure what kind of steel it is. Like I said, I do suspect it's some mystery Chinese stainless. The sheath is actually does have a little bit of rigidity to it. So the sheath, my only major complaint with this is that the strap on it does absolutely nothing. Whether you open it or not, it doesn't matter. The knife's going to come out. So I'm not too happy with the strap, but that's not really the sheath part. That's this, because there's nothing on here to keep it in there. There's no lanyard hole for a lanyard. So that's another thing I don't really like about it, because in a knife, if you have a knife like this, it is always nice to have a lanyard. But it's not necessary, but I do like it. Again, the sharpening stone has this side here is like fine, and this side is super fine for the honing. So having a little sharpening stone with your kit is always good. We'll talk about that at a later date. I do plan on doing some videos on sharpening knives, because it is a good skill to have. But for now, all we're talking about is this old Forge knife we got from Gear Pack. I'm gonna be honest, I'm surprised that it was able to do this as quickly as it did. And even after doing this, it still sliced paper pretty cleanly. I had a couple snags. There's like maybe a burr or two on there, but I just got finished making a plate full of wood chips. So, you know, I think that's not too bad. The sharpening stone, it's not that dull, but I mean, I don't know if it did anything. I may have dulled it more, but you know, but. Oops. It's like there's a rough spot on it. There is a rough spot on it. About here. But you saw what it can do. It made this, cut the paper. So you make your decision on it. But I'm quite surprised that GearPack put this decent of a knife, fixed blade, sheath knife. A lot of their folding knives are actually, even though they're truck stop knives, like the Winchester or the Smith & Wesson, they're actually a lot better than like your normal, folding knives you get in a lot of the boxes. So, but this one here, not too bad. And yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that's gonna make it. I'm not saying that would be like my go-to blade, but it's a good blade. I'm actually really surprised that it did as good as it did. All right, great. That's it. That is the old Forge Bushcraft knife. Hey, if you do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, leave me a comment. If you are not already subscribed, I really appreciate you subscribing. Share this video out, and hey, keep prepping.